Hello, everyone. All right, we're just going to be starting in a few minutes. We just wanted to make sure all the technical stuff was taken care of. As you can see, it's morning for us.
Good morning.
So let's just get this going. We'll start in a few minutes, just let people trickle in, and we're just going to be on here doing a couple things. So let's make sure.
Susie made my coffee very strong, so I'm going to be a little jittery.
I've never quite mastered the art of coffee making. So.
Just drinking.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem. All right, so just bear with us. We're going to be starting in a couple minutes. Just want to make sure everything's all set. Let's see. So if anybody has any problems hearing us, just let us know. There's a little chat box if you have any problems. All right. Okay, well, we will just go ahead and get started for you. Welcome, everyone. Happy to have you here. And we're going to be doing a slideshow, so we'll go ahead and switch over to that for you. And at any point during the presentation, if you have questions, just go ahead and type into the group chat, and we'll be able to see the questions that you are working on. So let me just make sure that we can see. Just a second. We have two screens going, so I'm just making sure that all the technical stuff is on par. Cool. Looks like we've got it.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go ahead and switch over to the screen. Cool. So hopefully you can all see that. And let's go ahead and go over to that. All right.
Here we go. So, welcome to Nutrition for Fat Loss. How to get lean without dieting or relying on willpower. That sounds nice.
I like the sounds of that.
Yep.
All right. So this presentation, we're going to be talking about, we know most of you already know who we are, so we won't go too deep into it, but we want to introduce ourselves and tell you a little bit about us so that you get to know us a little bit better. And we're also going to be talking about why you need nutrition for fat loss. Like, need. So that's an important part. And then we're going to talk about why dieting sucks, though, as a fat loss strategy. And finally, the good stuff. How are you going to lose fat and stay lean for life without dieting? And we're going to take about an hour for the training, so you're not just sitting here waiting, wondering when it's going to be over. So it's going to be about an hour.
Take notes.
Yes. And we also ask that you try to stay distraction-free during this. It's only an hour. Be present. Give it your full attention. It's really important stuff. It's going to be life-changing if you let it be. And stick around to the end for some exciting stuff for you that we've got planned.
Who the hell are we? Well, this is us not too long ago. I'm on the left.
And I'm on the right.
So, just kind of looking at the pictures, you can see that, we haven't always been super healthy. We haven't always looked the way that we do. So that's me on the left in college after my deployment to Afghanistan. I was like 20 or 21 years old. And so this was clearly not a healthy point in my life. As there was lots of beer, as you can tell from the bloatedness, and I was working out still. I worked out all the time, but I didn't really ever look any different from that working out. It was pretty frustrating, and as things started to change for the better, though. But I'll let Susie go over herself real quickly.
All right, yep, that's me on the right. Really looked a lot different, a lot less tan than I am now. But yeah, I was very overweight, kind of miserable. I had really severe migraines and just very lethargic. I had never really worked out before. I wasn't active, so that definitely. And then I went to college and just started eating whatever the hell I wanted, and definitely started to show. And I didn't know what to do. I had never, done anything before for my health or for fitness. So finally, I kind of looked myself in the mirror and realized something's got to give. And that's how we got to here. Obviously, it wasn't just as quick as switching a slide, but together we really kind of started taking our nutrition seriously and looking into it a lot more deeper on our own.
Yeah, we figured a lot of this stuff out by ourselves. Like, I was studying nutrition in undergrad, so I was learning a lot about it, but so I knew like a lot of the fundamentals in the background, but they were still telling me to eat whole grains every meal and all this, and so I was eating whole grains at every meal and all this, and I was just like bloated and lethargic and brain fog, and it was like terrible. So like we started to do our own kind of research, and luckily I had that knowledge, that background of the science behind everything to kind of realize there's better ways to do things, and what works for one person isn't going to work for another.
Yeah, and so we really started to do our own personal research. We joined a master's program to start really learning more, and then we also both became personal trainers, nutrition coaches, and now that's us now, and we really fell in love with it and became really passionate about it, and also doing it together was a really big help. And so we started a business, and now we're able to travel the world. You probably know we are currently traveling Southeast Asia. We're in Thailand right now, and we get to run a business and help other people do exactly what we did and make it part of their lifestyle and really enjoy the process. So that's us. That's what we do. So let's ask you this.
Yeah, imagine if you were lean year-round while still enjoying all your favorite foods. You didn't have to start and stop dieting every other week, every Monday, start over. You could lose fat without stressing and obsessing, counting calories. You could have a sexy, lean, and toned physique you've always wanted and keep it for life.
And
that sounds pretty nice, yeah. Guess what?
You can have all of that. It's not a pipe dream. I know it might sometimes seem like it, but it's very possible, and we want to help you get there. But first, here's why you don't already have it. And we struggled with these same things in our journey, and we're going to go over it a little bit for you.
So exercise alone is a terrible fat loss strategy. We've been saying this a lot recently because it's true. And just to give you guys a little idea, you've probably seen it yourself, but it's shown in research too. Danish researchers took a group of sedentary overweight men and women, trained them to run a marathon over the course of 18 months. The average weight loss for men was about 2 pounds and 0 for women. Training for a marathon. So
that's a lot of running.
How many people just go out, I want to lose weight, so they start running like a mile a day or a few miles a week and to lose weight. People are running marathons and didn't lose any weight.
Yeah, so obviously something's got to give there.
And then again, 464 sedentary overweight to obese women exercised 3 to 4 days a week for varying lengths of time. Some didn't exercise at all, and they all lost the same amount of weight.
And
which was nothing. So the people who worked out 4 times a week stayed the same weight just as the people who did not work out at all.
Yeah, and that was because they didn't change their nutrition along with it. So first, you cannot out-exercise poor nutrition. Contrary to popular belief, you binged on the weekend, running a couple extra miles during the week is not going to counterbalance that. It's really easy to overcompensate for a caloric deficit that you might have created through maybe you ran a few miles. Maybe that burned probably about 300 calories. So if you're trying to exercise for the calorie burn, it's really easy to offset that with just drinking an extra beer or two on the weekend. Or, you know, you can even do that, you know, an apple alone is 100 calories. So, you know, eating, you know, so quote unquote healthy foods, it's really easy to overeat even when you're exercising.
And so why? Because exercise makes you eat more. Like you said, physiologically, you'll probably be hungrier from exercise, especially running. That tends, I know, definitely for me after I go for a run, I'm starving after. So the more you exercise, then your body just responds to that by making you hungrier. And then you eat more, which brings you back to number one, and you even out. So this is physiological and it's mental. Like so many people say it is called compensatory eating. So, oh, well, I just ran, you know, I worked out today, so I deserve this mudslide. And then there's just, you know.
So there's 1,000 calories from the mudslide from running a mile, which burned maybe 100 calories.
Yeah, and the weekend you go running with your girlfriends, and then, oh, well, we just worked out, so let's get some stuffed French toast for breakfast. So it's mental and physiological.
And also, weight loss is not the same as fat loss. So the type of exercise you're doing matters. So if you're just constantly doing cardio without altering your nutrition or doing any sort of strength training, then a lot of the weight loss that you're seeing is not necessarily from fat, it's from muscle mass. So really, it matters the type of exercise that you're doing. So you might be just exercising, but are you exercising in the proper way that's going to support fat loss? But we're not here to bash exercise. We absolutely love it, obviously. We are huge proponents of especially strength training, but we just want people to be active in general as well. So obviously exercise and fitness plays a huge role, but it is not going to get you the fat loss results you want alone.
So if you want fat loss, you cannot ignore nutrition. But here's where we go wrong.
We are stuck in a dieting mentality, and diets don't work. I don't know how 95% of diets fail.
That's the given statistic that's typically out there, and that's just insane. Like, why would you do something that has a 5% success rate? Like 5%, and then do it again and again. Like, that's literally the definition of insanity. Trying to do something over and over again, expecting different results. But people do this, and it drives us nuts.
Yeah, and it's not your fault if that's what's out there as the expected way to lose fat is to go on a diet. How many times do you hear people say, "Oh, I really need to go on a diet"?
Time for a diet,
but clearly it doesn't work because you wouldn't every day be saying, "I need to go on a diet." If diets worked, you wouldn't always be going on and off of them. So here's why diets don't work.
Yeah, so diet mentality is often eat more, move more, eat less. And that's the advice that's typically given. Everyone's like, just have to move more and eat less. That's horrible advice. It really is. It's technically true in a sense, but it's terrible advice. I'll go into it for a little bit. So calories in, calories out. This is what that model is based off of. This is technically, it's true, but it's very flawed because more is not always better when it comes to the amount, the caloric deficit. So you can't just cut your calories in half instead of going down by like a few hundred a day, because then your body, it brings us to the third one, your body has ways to adjust for that. Your body has homeostasis, I'm sure as everyone heard, it likes a balance. So if you just cut calories drastically and start running a ton, you are going to destroy your metabolism, and that'll just tank it. So so you can speak from this personally. But your body will match that, and it'll latch onto the fat, and make it harder for you to burn fat. So you'll be wasting muscle. You'll be
tired all the time.
Tired all the time, and you're just going to be not in a happy place.
It's also not something that you can sustain comfortably for a long period of time.
And then it's inaccurately measured. You don't actually know how many calories you're burning a day because it can differ on a day-to-day basis, and everyone can be different. I mean, there's people out there who's been in these types of studies that they eat 500 extra calories a day, but then they respond without even knowing it by just like fidgeting all day through neat non-exercise activity thermogenesis, it's called. And so they don't end up gaining weight, and then it's just because your body adjusts for things like that. And so you can't just drastically cut calories like that. It's not a good way.
Which is how most crash diets work, the calorie counting, MyFitnessPal, all of that. And also, not all calories are created equally. A good example of this is if you ate 200 calories of steak versus 200 calories of potato chips. You're going to be a lot hungrier later if you just ate the potato chips than if you ate the steak, but you're still eating the same amount of calories. So a lot of people, when they count calories, they don't take into account the types of food that they're eating, and they end up eating just their calorie allotment of the day in junk food because that's, I'm eating this amount of calories and I want to be able to eat the food I want, so that's what they end up eating. But the type of food really matters. We always are proponents of eating real food first. That's because it's more satiating food. So if you are trying to be in a slight caloric deficit for fat loss, which is what you need to get fat loss, it's going to be a lot easier if you're eating satiating foods, and that's real food that has fiber, so tons of veggies, and that's when nutrient density comes in. Your body needs nutrition. It needs nutrients to properly function. So if you're just feeding it a bunch of empty calories of junk food that has no nutrients in it, then your body is going to be still hungry. It's going to be calling out and making you hungry to try to get those nutrients. So if you're eating nutrient-dense foods, such as vegetables and good proteins and healthy fats, then you're going to be you're going to be feeding your body what it needs, your cells what they need, so that your body's not going to be sending out these hunger signals all the time. And it's going to be a lot easier to stick with it.
Not all exercise is created equal. We were kind of just talking about that. But so when you do a bunch of cardio, and you're just, like we said, making yourself a lot hungrier versus strength training, where you probably, it can for some people suppress appetite. It won't make you as hungry, and you're building muscle, which in turn is going to be raising your metabolism, making it easier to lose fat. Whereas if you just cut calories and run, you're going to be slowing your metabolism. So you want to boost it, not slow it.
Yeah, and I mean that's why it's so much harder to lose fat after you've gone on one of those crazy diets and done a bunch of cardio, because you've lost a bunch of muscle mass, and then your metabolism is slower for the next time you try to crash diet. And the other problem with diets is you're either on it or off of it. So you've got that short-term mindset, which does not support long-term results. That's when yo-yo dieting comes in, where you're either really, really strict and dieting, but then it's really kind of impossible to sustain. So you go off of the diet, you binge, you eat everything you couldn't eat on the diet, and then you end up gaining more weight than you needed to lose in the first place. And so if you can't sustain the diet that you're on, then you're not going to sustain the results. So you might go into it wanting these instant results, these finish line mindset that you have. I need to lose 20 pounds. So you do whatever it takes to lose that 20 pounds. But then once you lose the 20 pounds, you can't sustain it because you were on such a strict diet. And then you end up just yo-yoing back.
Yeah. Anytime you plan a diet or for an event or something, you're already planning the end of it, which means you're planning the end of your results.
Yeah.
And it relies on willpower. So the cutting calories and everything we were just talking about without changing food types, this is going to rely on willpower, and it is a finite resource. It is limited per day, and it is not sustainable. And if you use it all on food decisions, then that'll probably make other areas of your life worse. You might, yell at your boss because you can't use your willpower to bite your tongue. And
it's funny. I saw somebody mention this actually, and it's kind of a funny little story. This woman who's also in the fitness industry, she posted that she was getting packages from online shopping at her door like every single day, and her roommate finally was like, "Why? Is it Christmas? Why do you keep getting packages at the door? You're doing so much online shopping." She's like, "Well, clearly I'm on a diet." So she was using all her willpower to diet and couldn't stop herself from shopping online every single day. So, you need to figure, you don't want to be using all your willpower and brain power on deciding not to eat a donut. Yeah. And also, when you're on a diet, you're just in this constant state of either feeling deprived when you're dieting, or when you go off the diet, you start to feel guilty about what you're eating. So you're constantly stressing your body out by either feeling deprived and miserable or guilty and beating yourself up over it. And I've been in that cycle plenty of times before I, before I found what we're going to be teaching you. And it's a really miserable cycle to be in. You hear people say, "Oh, I can't eat that, I'm on a diet." And then when they go off their diet, inevitably, then they start to feel guilty and be like, "Oh, I'm being so bad.
I need to go back on
I need to go back on a diet. Monday, I'm starting again." And that's an awful cycle to be in, and it's psychologically, so exhausting. So you don't want to be doing that. And
you're on and miserable or off and miserable.
Yeah, so there's an easier way.
Getting into the third one, the concept of there being good foods and bad foods. This is a bad, poor mentality, because if you eat the bad foods, you think you're a bad person. And then people also exchange this with dieting. Like, "Oh, I need to start being good. I need to start dieting." So dieting is what people perceive as being good, and not dieting is bad, which brings right back to what we were just talking about. You're either miserable or miserable.
Yeah, and also, clean eating, which we say eat real food, which a lot of people end up saying is clean eating. But, what is clean eating? When you follow a strict food list, meal plans, and macro ratios, they don't matter if you can't make them fit into your life forever. So there's going to be certain situations where things aren't going to be clean foods necessarily, and you're just going to either eat it and feel guilty, or you're going to feel miserable because you can't eat it. And it's, the definition of clean eating is different for everyone. If you look at a vegan, their idea of clean eating would be different than somebody who's paleo.
Yeah, they both think they're clean eating, but they're two different diets. So how is that thing?
So obviously, I think, when you look at it from a perspective of eating real natural foods, that's awesome. But don't want to look at it as I'm being clean or I'm being dirty. Your food is what you make of it, and your food choices do not define the type of person you are. You're not being good or being bad. You're just eating.
Yeah, food is food.
Yeah.
It's not out to get you. It does not have morals. You're not corrupt for eating certain kinds.
Yeah.
It's food.
And the stress that you put yourself through trying to always be clean and be good and stick to a food list is probably just more detrimental than just eating a cookie every once in a while.
Nourishment versus punishment. So eating to nourish your body versus punishing your body. So there's a couple camps out there. You have the people who are so quote unquote clean eating, think they're clean eating, and then they exercise a ton, and whenever they eat something bad, then they go out for a 10-mile run, and they punish themselves as a way to be healthier or to get the physique they want, versus nourishing themselves. So instead of just doing the proper types of exercise to make your body feel amazing and work properly, and nourishing yourself with awesome, delicious, colorful, real food, and because you know that it's good for you, and then it'll make you feel good and look good, and this brings peace to yourself. Whereas most people like, "Oh, I've been bad, I must go punish myself for being bad, so I'm not gonna eat this. I'm gonna run 10 miles a day, strength training 6 days a week,
Yeah, and
then we get questions from them all the time asking why they can't lose weight.
yeah, and I mean, I can say I was in that same situation where I was strict clean eating, whatever that means, and working out vigorously, CrossFit 5 times, 6 times a week, and my body composition was getting worse, not better. And every time I would, eat something that wasn't, clean or wasn't paleo, I would hate myself for it, and I would punish myself by swearing off all foods, and it just made it worse, and I would end up binging on it and going through this cycle of binge and punish, and it was awful, and it's no way to live, and I would never suggest anyone do
Your
that.
body's awesome and amazing. Nourish it. Don't punish. Poison is in the dose. So like we're saying, obviously there's foods that are physiologically, more harmful or more beneficial than others. Like, we're not ignoring that. But they're not morally good or bad, and you're not morally good or bad for eating them. So, and the poison is in the dose. Water can kill you if you have too much. And so, just don't eat so much of the quote-unquote bad things.
Yeah, instead of being off a diet and eating all the cheesecake you want, cheesecake is not bad. It's freaking delicious. It's my favorite food, my favorite dessert. But how much and how often you eat it determines its effects. I love cheesecake, and I love food just the way everybody else does, but I don't eat cheesecake every single day. And if I do eat cheesecake, I don't take a quarter of the cake. I take a small slice, and I eat it to enjoy it, and I eat it slowly and really, enjoy it.
And then grains and gluten, that whole debate. And there's a difference between eating cereal for breakfast, a big sub roll for lunch, and then pasta for dinner and pie for dessert, versus having maybe like one grain dish per day, or a beer, a day. So like, are you having grains at every single meal and all the like processed gluten, or do you have like one little thing a day? Those are two drastically different things. So you can't say gluten's the devil, or it's.
Unless you have celiac, you genuinely can't eat it. But it's not all or nothing. You don't have to completely ban foods, but you don't also have to go hog wild.
I've done both. I've ate whole grains at every meal because I thought they were delicious and full of protein and fiber, and then I eliminated them 100%. And now maybe I'll
find a healthy balance.
A beer every once in a while, or maybe just like one grain-based dish every couple of days or once a day. Like, it's in the dose.
Yep. All right, so there's why you haven't lost fat and why dieting doesn't work. But getting to the good stuff, how do you lose fat without dieting or relying on willpower? And that's exactly what we're going to show you.
Sounds like crazy voodoo, but it's not. First step, stop dieting.
Duh.
Stop it. Don't ever do it again. You want to build habits instead, and you can build those habits as slowly or quickly as you want.
All right.
So,
first step.
Yeah. So in order to start building habits, you have to know what you're doing. So to cultivate awareness is to learn what you're doing first before you can fix it. So are you the guy on the left who's just no awareness and just mouths on everything until he hates himself? I've been there. Or do you see where the problem is first? So when your check engine light comes on in your car, you know something's wrong with it, and so you bring it to the mechanic, and they tell you what is wrong, and they address that one problem. They don't take your car and then fix everything, change out everything, even though it's completely fine, and then you spend thousands of dollars when it was just your tire was flat.
Yeah.
And so that's the same thing with dieting and building habits. You have to first be aware of what you're doing, find the trouble areas, and then address those. The dieting is the shotgun approach where they fix everything in the car. You just change everything to fix a problem that might be very small. Maybe your only problem is you eat junk food at work and that's it. But then you go on a crazy diet which changes everything.
Yeah, and you can't stick to it.
It's so unnecessary. So you want to cultivate awareness to see where the trouble lies and then build habits.
Yeah, and you know, another part of that is when you're not aware, then you know you aren't enjoying the foods you're eating anyway. If you're just mindlessly going through the motions and you know junk eating, you know, nomming on junk food, but you're just completely not even present for it, then you could have just eaten 1,000 calories and won't be like, what the hell just happened? And then you're still hungry because you didn't actually, you know, you weren't present for it, which we'll get to.
We could talk about this all day, but we don't have time, unfortunately. We could do a whole presentation on awareness.
Yeah.
So you want to create habits to beat decision fatigue. So we make over 200 food decisions a day. That's a lot of choices you have to make, and that's only food. That doesn't take into account your work, your home, your kids, your wife, anything like that. So there's just so many things. So when you create a habit, it said that about 40% of our daily actions are the habit. And that means that you don't really have to think about doing it, which is perfect. That's what you want. You want to do healthy things without thinking about it. And so like when you go to brush your teeth in the morning, you don't wake up like, oh, dude, should I brush my teeth?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. No, you just start doing it without even knowing. And that's ultimately how you get long-term results, is by making healthy habits. So you just do it without thinking.
All right, so a good way to, well, I guess we can talk about that actually. Just real quick, the best way to create a habit is by observing what your current habits are and then replacing those habits with the habits that you would like to have. So instead of trying to like completely stop a habit that you have that you think might be detracting from your goals, you know, observe those habits, figure out why you're doing them, when you're doing them, what triggers them, and then you want to take it and replace it with something that is healthy. So say maybe when you get home, you're stressed and you sit down on the couch and that's your trigger to go to the fridge and grab some ice cream or beer or whatever. So be aware of that habit and see, okay, I'm stressed when I come home, and replace that habit with maybe reading a book, a fiction book, or calling a friend, or sitting down with your kids and going over how their day was, or going for a walk. So there's, you know, it takes a little bit of observation and work in the beginning, but then once you've replaced it, then you can start.
Yeah, if you have a habit of drinking soda, don't just try to stop drinking soda, drink something else instead.
Yeah.
So it's much easier to do that. So you can replace it with soda water and lime, or some type of tea or anything like that.
Yeah. Because it's a lot harder to just completely stop something than replace it with something that's still enjoyable, because then you still get the same benefits. All right. Another thing that you can really try to do, which we do a lot, is implement food policies.
Love this strategy.
So it's awesome. It helps you to still enjoy the foods that you love without feeling guilty about it and without it ruining any progress that you've made. So we say, you know, be your own dictator. You make the choices. You are responsible for your own decisions. But it's a lot easier when you have these food policies in place that you follow, so that it's not, you don't get into a situation and just be like, oh, I don't know what to do, so you just eat everything. So a food policy would be, you know, if this, then that. So my personal food policy that I tend to do is, you know, if I go out to eat, if I get French fries, then I'm not gonna get a bun on my burger. Or, you know, I try to say we're in Thailand right now, and Asia, you know, rice is everywhere. There's rice for everything. I don't need to eat a giant thing of rice every single meal. So I tend to say I have one rice dish a day, or if I want some sort of sweet dessert later in the day, then I don't eat rice at all during that day. And it's simple little compromises like that, you know, that are gonna help you get through. It's not, oh, well, you know, your body isn't gonna say like, oh, your body's not like, oh, well, you ruined your diet, so you can just eat anything. It's still counting that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people who will be like, oh, well, I already ruined my diet by having a beer, so I might as well get, you know, French fries, nachos, and you know, it doesn't work that way.
Not at all.
Your body's not like, oh, well, you didn't eat clean today, so you might as well just go hog wild, which a lot of people do, and you know, it's not going to work that way. So try making compromises. You know, if you want to have some like a I don't know, garlic bread with your dinner, then get a salad instead of getting garlic bread and pasta and a beer and then getting a cheesecake at the end. You know, think about it, be aware, and actually like understand what you want and make compromises. You know, we're not children. We can you know, self-regulate ourselves a little bit more.
Yeah, and like I said with the grain thing, so if you want toast with your breakfast, don't have bread again. You know, don't have a sandwich for lunch, have a salad. Or the other way, you know, if you don't have it at breakfast, then you can have it at lunch, and just little things like that, and just being cognizant of it. And that's really what this comes down to. It's not that hard.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, people tend to want to just have it be easy and just not have to think about it ever. But you know, that's kind of a cop out. And once you start to make habits, then it's a lot easier. But you know, you can't just completely give up responsibility for yourself.
2, redesign your environment. So this is an awesome thing that can be done because it's kind of set it and forget it. So you just, I mean, we'll explain, but I mean, your environment is so crucial to your food choices that you know, it doesn't come down to you consciously deciding what you're going to eat. That very rarely happens. It's affected by a lot of different things, and environment is one of the biggest. So if your environment is not friendly to you and your goals, then that'll destroy you. So you have to redesign them. So like I was saying, don't just change everything. Find out where the trouble areas are. You know, or is it you gotta staring at the donuts at work, or is it your kitchen at home? Figure out which one it is, you know, which is the worst one, and then start there first. And then there's simple tricks that you can do. Not tricks, just ways you can redesign those environments so that you mindlessly eat better. And so if it's your kitchen and you have food out, make sure there's no food. The only food that should be in your kitchen at all is a fruit bowl. That's it. That should be the only food in sight. Everything else should be organized away in cupboards. Definitely no cereal box. The statistic, women who had cereal on their counter weigh an average of 20 pounds heavier than their neighbors who didn't. So definitely, you know, have all that kind of stuff out of sight. And if you can, when you get home from work, like the house when you get to your house, it's better to not have that be through the kitchen, because if you're in the kitchen, you're just gonna think about food and eat whether you're hungry or not. Yeah. So you want to change it. You know, put healthy foods eye level in the fridge. Take all the junk food, put it in the most furthest away.
Preferably get rid of it in general.
Yeah, because I mean that's one of the best ways. But
some people.
Or you just put it in a cabinet in the back, and then so that you don't see it when you're looking for other things, because then if you see it, you're gonna want it. And then if you have healthier snack options, put those in front of the other ones. So there's so many different things you can do, but it all depends on which area it is. So figure out where that is. Is it your work? Is it your home? Is it dining out?
Yeah, a good thing for dining out is if you know what restaurant you're all going to, you say you're meeting friends at a restaurant, you have your smartphone with you all the time. Pull up the menu, and before you're there and you're smelling the delicious foods and all the greasy fried foods, go on and choose what you're going to order before you even get there, and just stick to that choice. It's a lot easier, and it's really not that difficult. It's 2 seconds to pull up a menu. So there's things you can do to set yourself up for success that don't necessarily require you being super strict. And also be prepared. Like we said, there's going to be times when you're not really sure what to do, and there, you can be flexible with things. But if you're prepared, you don't have to get that in depth with it, like that picture. Which, if that's something you want to do, that's totally fine. Whatever works for you. But just make sure that you have healthy options on hand. Bring your own lunch to work with you if you are able to, or at least go out for a salad. But be prepared to have healthy options available, and it's going to be a lot easier that way. 3, mindset is everything. This is our favorite part. This is our bread and butter
about nutrition and everything. This is the key to it all. We love this stuff. All right, it's a mindset, a set of beliefs or a way of thinking that determines one's behavior, outlook, and mental attitude. I mean, the answer is right in there. a set of beliefs or a way of thinking that determines one's behavior. So if you try to change your behavior without changing your mindset, it's not going to work. Change your mindset, and then your behavior will change. That's so overlooked. People are not talking about this in like the nutrition area. It's so crucial because it's so amazing and it works and it's easy. And all right, we'll talk about it a little bit.
We get so pumped up about it because we've struggled with all those things that we talked about earlier. And honestly, it's like a light going on in your head when you are able to really change your mindset about things. Then everything else becomes easier. So we need to be aware of the fact, first of all, the fact that we have a choice. You know, we need to be honest with ourselves and what our priorities are. Because a lot of times you might, you know, say, oh, I want to lose fat or I want to lose weight. But that's just you kind of giving yourself lip service because you think you need to lose weight. But it's not really one of your priorities. And it's not about, you know, necessarily what you eat. It's how you eat it. And if you come from it from an aware perspective and you're coming from the mindset of, I want to nourish my body, take care of my body, and you know that what your goals are, why you want those goals, then you completely empower yourself to make choices, and it's not depleting yourself because you're under the mindset of, I want to be healthy, I have these goals, and you're aware of what you're doing.
So mindful eating with intention while paying attention. This is the key to it all. You know, this is the mindful eating. This is how you change mindset and everything. It's just, so when we talked about the redesign and the habit stuff, that's important, and that may be like a quicker fix for part of it, but for like the mindlessly eating better, but for the long-term results for life, to like get rid of all those the miserable dieting things that we were talking about. I mean, mindful eating is how you overcome that for life. Like it's really just being aware. Like we talked about a couple times now. That's really what it is. Just slowing down. Slow down and be aware. So when you eat, like just eat. Don't do anything else. And you know, because sometimes you're not even hungry for food, and there's different kinds of hunger, and there's different ways to satisfy those hungers. So by stopping, if you want one thing, take one major takeaway, just before you eat, ask yourself if you're hungry.
Yeah.
And then if you ask yourself, say it out loud if you want, and then if you say no, don't eat.
Yeah. And you know, you don't have to eat just because people around you are eating or it's dinner time. You know, if you listen to your body will tell you what it wants, when it wants it, and how much it wants. Which, you know, we get it. A lot of people are in a rush all the time. And, you know, if you're in a rush and you think you just need to eat something because it's time to eat something, you know, take 10 seconds to take a couple deep breaths, think about it. Think about if you're hungry at all, and if you are hungry, what do you want to eat? And a lot of times when you're aware of that and you're aware of why you're eating, you know, maybe you're just eating because you're bored. So find something else to do. But the only way that you can know is when you become aware and mindful of what you're doing.
Yeah, and so to do this, really slow down. I'm sure many people have heard, this has been known for a while, that it takes about 20 minutes for all the proper hormonal signals to go to your brain to tell your body that you're full. So if you eat in 5 to 10 minutes, and you could be overeating within that 10 minutes without ever knowing that you're actually full. So if you slow down and then take time, then you'll eat. I mean, this has been proven. Like women who, they did a big study, the ones who slowed down, just took a longer time to eat, ate less food than the others who did not.
Yet they felt more satisfied than the people who ate more. And
they thought they were more satisfied and ate less. So eat in a distraction-free zone. You know, don't be on your phone or anything like that.
Watching TV.
Make sure it's a stress-free area and slow down. Enjoy each bite. One of the best ways to do this, and I've been doing, is just put your fork down between each bite.
Yeah.
It's super simple. I've been doing that, and it's really helped me slow down and you enjoy food more.
Yeah.
And it's like you build your relationship with it, that nourishing feeling that we were talking about versus the punishment.
And it works the same way with foods that maybe you think are bad. We already said there's no bad foods, but maybe foods that you love that maybe if you ate a ton of it, it wouldn't really help you get your goals. But if you start to eat that food mindfully, give yourself permission. It says eating with intention while paying attention. So you don't have to give up all these foods that you love. Just eat them with intention instead of mindlessly eating them as fast as you can because you know you're going to feel guilty afterwards and you just want to get it over with. Choose it with intent to eat the food that you love. Just don't eat as much and you'll feel satisfied because you're paying attention and enjoying it and slowly eating it.
And then let go after you eat, it's done. And then don't think about it until the next time you eat. And it's okay. And this was, we were writing a book and me and myself laughed thinking about this. I just, some people might have had kids, I haven't, but I've seen this done. Trying to feed a baby or a toddler when they're not hungry is literally impossible. It's not gonna happen. They know when they're done, and they say no. You can put that spoon near their face, and they'll just move it away and smear it all over them, and they're not gonna eat. But you could take an adult who just ate a full piece or something, full meal, stuffed, put a piece of cheesecake or ice cream in front of them, and they will do everything in their power to make sure all of that food goes in their stomach.
The second dessert stomach.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's really just slow down. And if you're not hungry, don't eat. And don't eat until you're stuffed.
Yeah.
Eat until you're 80% full.
And that's the beauty of not having food lists and bad foods and good foods, is because a lot of times people, they think, oh, well, I'm going to be good tomorrow. I'm going to start my diet, so I have to get it over with now. Or, the food's always going to be there. If you give yourself permission, you say, you know what, I can eat cheesecake whenever the hell I want. I can have ice cream whenever I want. I just have to be mindful and present for it and actually slow down. I have to sit down and enjoy it. Then you give yourself so much freedom. You feel so free. And, you'll find that you can really enjoy that food without feeling guilty. And you're going to eat less of it when you do decide to eat it.
Yeah, we're ranting a bit and taking too long on this slide. But I want to, like we said, without using willpower. Like when you don't want to eat something, that's not using willpower if you don't want it. And that's why we say lose weight without relying on willpower. Because if you just ask yourself if you want something and say no, most people are like, oh my God, you're so strong. You're so much better than me. I could never resist that. But or someone says, I can't have that. But when you say, I don't want that, there's no willpower involved or anything. And that's the long-term result that you want.
And just real quick, nourish yourself like you deserve. It's not about punishing yourself or, depriving yourself. You want, you should love your body and want to nourish it and give it the foods that are going to support your goals in the body that you love, rather than punishing it and, hating on your body. So when you're, thinking of the foods that you want, think what is going to nourish me. And when you're eating it, imagine it nourishing yourself. And it's, you're going to have such a better relationship with food if you think of it as, giving your body and cells the nourishment that it needs.
Yeah.
And your body will thank you for it by letting go of all that extra fat.
I don't know if anyone's had a physiology class in high school or college, but your body's amazing, the stuff it does. It truly is. So treat it though. I mean, the thousands and thousands of processes that go on constantly, nonstop in your body is insane. So really give it what it deserves.
Yeah, and you'll feel so much better too when you think of it this way. And finally, don't deprive yourself. We talked about this. Give yourself permission to eat the foods that you love guiltlessly, stress-free, because stressing over it and feeling guilty is going to make it so much worse for you than if you just give yourself permission to mindfully and intentionally eat the foods you love. And this comes into play, especially with the holidays coming up. People are afraid to even start a diet because the holidays are coming up, but we're not asking you to start a diet. We want you to enjoy the foods that you love and the foods you grew up with the people you love. Just be mindful over it and give yourself permission to eat it guiltlessly.
Really enjoy it,
but,
for real.
Be smart about it too, and realize maybe you don't need to eat every single type of pie that's at the dessert. Choose the one that you know you love the most, eat it slowly, enjoy the company you're with, and it's gonna be a lot better than just either going hog wild and feeling guilty and stuffed and bloated, or not eating it all and feeling like shit and depriving yourself. Let's see. So recap. We're running out of time, but recap and action items. So first, foster some awareness. Observe your so these are just basically quick action items you can take on today to start seeing results. So first, observe your habits for a week and write them down. You don't have to try to change anything right away, but just be mindful, observe when you eat, what you eat, why you're eating it, and just write it all down.
And then, so for the habit, and once you're aware of them, now make a list of all the habits that you'd like to change that you think will, are deterring you from your goals. Write them all down, and then come up with a list. Write down how you could replace those to get you closer to your goals, and then start making changes however much you're ready for. Maybe it's one thing a week. Maybe it's just adding a serving of vegetables per meal or day, or maybe it's a bunch of things. Whatever you can handle.
Yeah. And then the third thing, look at your environment. Choose one environment that you're into redesign this week. So whether that's your kitchen or you want to start bringing lunch to work every day, choose one environment that you know is deterring you from reaching your goals, and redesign it. It's not that much work. It's easy. Just commit to it. Redesign one thing this week. And finally, mindset.
Yeah. So for this, go buy some ingredients.
Healthy, real food ingredients.
Preferably from farmer's market or something, but it doesn't have to be, grocery store or whatever. And then cook it. Cook a meal from scratch. Cook your favorite meal. Sit down quietly, no distractions, and then just eat. Take an hour to do it. Eat it slowly. Savor every bite. Make sure you taste every bite. Put your fork down between each bite, and then just enjoy the hell out of it. And then you might feel like you're tasting food for the first time.
Yeah, it's amazing. And take a deep breath in between each bite, and really pay attention to your body. And when you're not hungry anymore, stop eating it. The best way is to serve yourself moderate servings and slow down enough to know when you're not hungry, and stop eating when you're not hungry.
Oh, and for environment, for your one thing to do, use smaller plates. From now on, eat from salad plates.
Yeah. And try to avoid family style meals, because then the food's right in front of you. Take what you want, put the rest of the food in the fridge.
All right.
All right. So yeah, clearly that's a lot to think about. We talked about so much stuff here. Clearly we
could have talked about a lot more things that we didn't.
Yeah, there's so much about it. But really, it's the only way you're going to get lifelong results without having a stressful, guilty relationship with food, without the rebound weight gain, and without the misery of dieting, which we've all experienced.
Without the misery of not dieting, too.
Yeah. It's really just the best way to go about it. It's going to help you have, just live lean year-round without even having to think or worry about it, and just enjoying every step of the way. So getting lean is much easier than staying lean. So this is the best way to stay lean.
So remember, nutrition is a skill. That's an important mindset too. It is a skill. Maybe at one time when you were that baby, you inherently knew how to do it, but it's been lost. And so now you have to practice it like you would any other skill. Like if you're learning to play tennis, you have to practice to get better and better. And that's what you have to do with nutrition. You have to develop the skill, those little things we talked about with the mindful eating, the eating to 80% full. That takes practice, the mindfulness. So practice a little bit every day, and then you will master the skill. You'll be a masterful eater, and you'll be
lean
successful.
Yeah. And people that want this shortcut, this crash diet, the fast, the bullet approach, you want results instantly, but the instant results will be gone in an instant. So the real shortcut, instead of having to yo-yo diet for the rest of your life, constantly feel guilty, stressed out about it, this is the shortcut, is by developing your skills for lifelong
success. We have people message us, say they've been struggling with nutrition their whole life for 40, 50 plus years. I mean, that's so much. That's so long. So just learning this skill is that, and that's the real shortcut, kind
Yeah.
of decades of
And then
dieting.
you can help other people, get that skill as well. So we want to help you with all of this. Like, obviously we love this. We're so passionate about it. We think that it's just the secret to everything, to helping you get your fat loss, getting healthy, feeling amazing. And we want to help you develop the skills and way, way more. So we want you to join us in piloting a new revolutionary coaching program that we're going to be starting to go over all this plus so much more. So let's talk a little bit about that real quick. We only have a few minutes and we're not going to beat over the head with this, but we want to throw it out there. So
it's going to be a group coaching platform, mostly through Facebook. We're launching the full thing at the new year, but there's going to be a lot of things involved.
Yeah, so this is already kind of what we have as the main framework of what we're going to be offering. So it's going to be first an initial deep dive into nutrition with training videos, assignments, and daily check-ins, where we're going to be going super in-depth into all the skills that you might need for nutrition.
Breaking it down step by step for you to follow along in a very thoughtful, guided out manner.
Yeah, with the accountability of the daily check-ins and assignments to make sure that we're all on track. And accountability. So we're going to go specifically into every person's goals and make sure that they're staying on track and following through with what they want.
We'll have training videos with actionable steps for you to follow along, just like we said.
Yep, and then we'll have live Q&As. So after we have training sessions and you've already been working on it, we're going to be having live Q&As with us to ask any questions you have. So it's basically like we're your one-on-one coaches, because you can come in and ask us anything you want.
Yeah.
We'll help you troubleshoot. And then, of course, if you can't make it to the live Q&A, you'll be able to watch the recap afterwards. And also just individual support from us to help you with anything you need. So if you ever have a question, we're also going to have the group forum where you can join us, ask anything. We'll troubleshoot for you. We'll help you. It's going to be a really great community. We're going to be helping each other. We're also, we talk a lot about nutrition, which is the main focus, but also we're personal trainers. We want to help you with strength training and the fitness side of it as well, because we think that they go 100% hand in hand. So we think we want to help you with your strength training as well. So we're going to help you with strength training templates and programs that you can adapt, and we'll help and support you with putting them into action. And then we'll also be bringing guest experts on to do training videos and posts, so that you're not, if you have a question that we think somebody else is better equipped to handle and answer, we're going to try to bring those people on board and get them to give you some of their insight as well. And finally, there's the optional initial Skype call with us to help us get to know you on a more personal level and see how we can best serve you. So that's all going to be part of the platform, and it's officially launching at the new year. But we want it to be more than awesome. We want it to be perfect. And that's where you guys who are watching right now come in.
Yeah, so for everyone who joins us for this pilot launch, it's going to be really special, because you're going to help us create this. It's foolproof, because you identify your exact problems, your questions, and then we take the training course that we're putting together, and then everything that you want created and done, and then making that as well. So you have everything you will need to get the results for life that you want. And really want you to be a part of it. If this is a movement, this is awesome. Imagine if people knew they could get lean and strong for life without dieting. I mean, this is really big, and we want you to be a part of it and help us create it. Yeah,
so we wanted to launch this pilot for November 1st, which is in about a week. And we want it to be perfect. We want it to be built around exactly what you want. So you have control over everything. Once you're in the pilot launch, then we're building it around exactly what you need, and we are guaranteeing that you're going to get results. And whatever you like more of, we're going to create more of. Whatever you think, I could do without, we'll do less of that, so we can make room for more of what you do want. And we're going to build an amazing community and platform that we're all going to be in this together. We're going to be there every step of the way. It's not like most group coaching programs where you have there's the fitness professional, but then their team is who's really running the show. You have no access to that specific professional. we're going to be in there every day with you, creating the trainings one-on-one. So it's going to be awesome. And you're going to closely work with us through the whole process, like we said. And plus, pilot students get a lifetime membership. So when we officially launch in January, you're obviously going to still be part of it. You're going to get lifetime membership, but for a massively discounted price. So you also get, when you join the pilot group, you're going to get all of our current digital products for free. So all of our ebooks and our courses. You're going to get a free copy of our book when it's published, which is going to be awesome. We're super excited. We've been working hard on it, and we definitely will be publishing that in the near future. And you're also going to get free or massively discounted access to all our future products and events. So once you become a lifetime member, then anything we create, which is going to be, and we have so much in the works, we have so much planned, kind of ridiculous, you are going to get for free or massively discounted so that you can be a part of this and stay, up to date with everything. And since we love couples getting in shape together, we love it, your partner, when you join, gets in for free. So 2 for 1 here, you both get to do it together, and that's usually the best way to go about it anyway. So we want your partner to be able to join for free.
Most importantly, you are guaranteed 100% money back to reach your goals. All right, we're not messing around. If you pay us for something, we're going to give you 10 times what you pay for. And if you don't get the results, no questions asked, money back, guaranteed. All yours. Nothing to lose, not a single thing to lose. Yeah,
but look, you're going to gain fat loss, you're going to get strength gains, you're going to have a lean physique, and best of all, you're going to find a peaceful relationship with food, your body, and your health so that you can maintain this for life. And we're going to be there with you every step of the way. So if you join us as pilot students, you're going to be the pioneering class for this movement. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be giving you so much good information, content, support, accountability. But we want to talk about real quick, when the final program launches in January, so the official launch in January, price is going to be $1,000 for lifetime membership. And just for a little perspective, that's still an amazing deal, because that's less than 4 months of one-on-one coaching with us if you were to sign up as a one-on-one client. And this is you get for life. But for pilot students, you are going to get all the bonuses we talked about. You also get to be a part of creating this amazing community and getting every single thing you ask for. And you're only going to pay half of the official launch price. So you become a pilot student now, and you're not going to pay the $1,000. You're only going to pay $495 for lifetime membership. That's literally less than 2 or 3 months of one-on-one coaching with us, and you're going to have us for life. And of course, we know that the $495, holidays are coming up. Obviously, that is the best value, best bang for your buck. You're going to have lifetime access to us for literally $495. That's amazing. Yeah. But when you see the link, we also have a subscription plan that is designed so that this is literally accessible to every single one of you. There's no reason that price can deter you, because this is going to be, it's still going to be half of what the membership price will be at the official launch. So you can check that out too, so that it'll be, everyone can access this.
There's a few different options, and it's affordable for everyone. Get yourself something nice for the holidays.
And we're gonna help you get through the holidays, and you don't have to say you're starting a diet, because we're gonna help you get through the holidays. And this time, instead of feeling shitty and guilty and being, knowing at the new year you're gonna have to start a diet or whatever, you're gonna get through the holidays and still be getting leaner, which is amazing.
Yeah, most people try not to gain weight during holidays. Lose weight while enjoying everything you love. So join us now. Head over to mikeandsusie.com/pilot-group-coaching, and then you'll see the options. Remember, there is a money-back guarantee.
Nothing to lose here.
Nothing to lose.
It's going to be amazing. We're so excited to get this started. We're so passionate about this. We believe in it so wholeheartedly. We want to help everyone get these amazing results. And obviously we believe in it, because if you don't get the results, we're going to give you your money back. And that is
still learned a lot. So if you join the next 30 minutes, we will personally build a strength training program especially for you while you master your nutrition, while you become that masterful eater. You know, if you're struggling with a solid strength training program or anything, then, you know, we'll put it together.
Yeah, and I mean, that's honestly, that is worth the money right there, is to have your own personalized strength training program that you can follow during the pilot course so that we can, you know, be supporting you in every way possible. So join in the next 30 minutes and you're gonna get that specifically. That's gonna be awesome, and everything else, lifetime membership. We love to see you there. Just again, mikeandsusie.com/pilot-group-coaching. And we'll leave that up for you for a minute just so that you can write that down or go over there now and just take a look. It's broken down a lot easy, you know, right there for you too.
The name of this, the group, is going to be Better Together. Better Lean and Strong, Body and Mind.
Yep. So
we're doing it together, guys.
Gonna be awesome. November 1st is when it launches. But if you want to get that bonus, join in the next 30 minutes. It's gonna be mind-blowing, life-changing, amazing. So we'll come back to this page just to keep it up for you, but I just wanted to go over to this really quickly. This is a quote I want to end with. It's from the book Savor by Thich Nhat Hanh. And this quote, it just kind of sums up everything that we love and kind of brings it all together. So we have: the mindful path to a healthy weight is not a diet that you go on and off. It does not rely on any pills or potions. All it takes is your belief and affirmation that you can follow a mindful path and your willingness to commit to this path. Following a mindful path means creating your own personal goals for healthy eating and physical activity, goals that you believe you can carry out and live with day after day. These goals must be realistic for your own life's demands. Over time, as you progress on this mindful path, it becomes your way of living, one that allows you to reach your healthier weight with great ease and confidence. And that is exactly the path that we want to help you go on. We want to help you adopt this mindful path and join you, walk together with you on it, and help you get better together. So we'll leave you with that. We'll go back to this just so that it's up. And if you have any questions, go ahead and ask now. We're going to leave that up. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and we will.
And you can email us too.
Yeah, actually, that's probably a good way to do it. A lot of you who are watching right now, we know you're in our private Facebook group as well. So if you do have any questions, we'll be answering questions in there as well, and we'll be posting a replay of this so that you can access all the information. And yeah, so that is it. And we're so excited to have you here. We'll bring up the questions. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just, hold on, we wanna. All right, so here we are. We just wanted to say thank you for being here, for listening. Hopefully you've learned a lot and you've really taken a lot of this to heart. It's so important. It's life-changing. So I think that's about it. I don't know.
I'm good. I'm tired now. That's a lot.
We're ready for breakfast.
Yes.
So yeah, enjoy implementing all of these things, and we hope to see you in the group. We really will love to work with you. So enjoy.
Have an awesome night.
Have an awesome night, and thank you.